Well, hello and welcome to Faith, Philosophy and Life with me, Mr. Shelton. It's great that you're back again. I hope that you are doing well. Today we're continuing to think about our people of faith, and today we're going to be thinking about a bloke called Kolbe, or Kolbe, or something like that. I can't pronounce his surname, but it's Maximilian is his first name, which I think is a very cool first name. What I'd like you to do is go and grab your pen and paper, because in a moment we'll have our cheesy intro music. But before we do that, while it's on, I'd like you to come up with however many superheroes that you can name. So while this is on for the next minute, how many superheroes can you name? Go. Brilliant. Okay, I wonder how many you got. I guess you got through like Superman, Spider-Man, Batman, and then I kind of run out. But if you're into Avengers, then you'll know a lot more from that as well. But the question is, why are they heroes? Oh, Captain America as well, obviously. How could I forget his shield? But why are they heroes? Well, they're all people that maybe step up, that put themselves on the line, that represent sacrifice. And what we're going to think about today is we're going to think about someone who did all of those things. And the question is, how do heroes help others? How do heroes help others? That's our title for today. As usual, pause me as we go. So today we're going to explore the impact that heroes have on other people. And we're going to explore how writing can be inspirational. Our outcomes then today is a good outcome will be that you can describe how people can affect others. It's going to be great if you can explain how faith can drive a person to commit a selfless act. And it's going to be even better if you can evaluate reasons why someone might commit a selfless act, saying if they're wise reasons or not. During today's session then we're going to look at heroes, we're going to look at heroes of faith, some events, and then Kolbe as well. So to start with, behind me are three different people. I wonder if you can work out who they are and what they did and why they might be heroes. So who are they? What do they do? And why might they be heroes to people? So pause me now and try and get some notes written down, then come back to me. Okay, so I wonder if you got on the left, you got William Wilberforce, who was the person who managed to end the slave trade in Great Britain. Then you've got Martin Luther King, fought for black civil rights within America. And above my head, you've got Nelson Mandela, the first black black South African president, who was obviously locked up in prison for so many years, who came out and then led a campaign of forgiveness and reconciliation across South Africa. These are all people that would be classed as heroes because of things they did. So William Wilberforce ended slavery, Martin Luther King ended racism and segregation within America, and Nelson Mandela ended apartheid, which was very similar, if not the same as segregation within South Africa. Have a quick look at this. Let me move out the way. There we go. What would you do? Why would you do this? In 2011, Japanese tsunami saw tremendous destruction hit Japan. We know this. Takeshi Muroi and Miki Endo were two government risk management employees tasked with warning and directing the public to safety. When the 10-meter wave hit, both Takeshi and Miki stuck to their posts and kept broadcasting, using their last words to direct townfolk to safety. Just think about that for a moment. Why is it that people would go to those lengths and continue to do their job to try and help other people? Pause me now and just reflect on that. If you want to make some notes, do so. Okay, here's another one. Lieutenants George Fox, Alexander Gord, John Washington and Clark Poling were chaplains of varying faiths stationed aboard the troop ship, the Dorchester. When the ship was struck by a submarine's torpedo, the chaplains quickly rallied together and began handing out life jackets and directing people to safety. When the life jackets ran out, they selflessly gave their own away, and when the ship went down, the four men linked arms and began singing. It's hard to say how many lives these men actually saved. Suffice to say, it was enough to get them into heaven. Well, was it? That's just a comment. But the question remains, why would you? Why would they do that? Pause me now and just have a quick reflection on that. Okay, so this is what I now need you to do. Using the description below, I would like you to access the hero stories, and there are quite a few there. I'd like you to choose to read 3 of them. You can read all of them if you want to, and choose 2 of them then. And then complete a Venn diagram about how your events, how the events overlap. Are they the same? Are they different between those people as heroes? I'm looking for things that are similar and things that are different. So in event 1, you'd put the things that are true only for event 1. In event 2, you put the things that are only true for event 2. But in both, you put the overlaps. You put the things that are similar for the characteristics of both. And that's really what I'd like you to do now. I'd like you to choose 2 of those from the information below, and then have a look at those and really start to get to grips with why would people be heroes. Think about the people we've looked at and then look at some more cases as well. This is going to take about 5 minutes or so pause me now and come back to me. Okay, so today then we said our objective was to explore the impact that heroes have on others, and we'll be able to describe how people can affect others, and we've done that really well today with lots and lots of different people. And then we thought about how faith can commit a selfless act. Now we thought about that with the chaplains, but we need to look a little bit more. So we're going to look at Kolbe now, Maximilian Kolbe. And I'm going to ask you to watch a clip I'm going to put on in a moment. As you can see, I got it from Patrick Ney. I think it's a really good explanation of Kolbe. What I'd like you to do is I'd like you to answer the 3 questions that are next to that blue square in your book. So you need to get those written down now. The first one is, why be a hero? The second one is there a difference from a religious or a secular hero? Secular means non-religious. So is his heroism different because he's a Christian and he's got a certainty of life after death in his own mind? And why did he do it? Why did he do this? So either mind map or bullet point list, bullet point down facts about Kolbe. What happened? I'm going to show you this clip now. Make sure you've got those questions written down as well. As usual, I'm going to ask you to photograph everything, send it through to your teachers. But I'm going to hand off to the video clip now, and then you can come back to me.
When was the last time you chose to truly help someone? Did something for a friend or someone you love, or even a total stranger? What this man would do for a stranger one day would shock the world and amaze millions. As a child, he had a vision. The Virgin Mary came to him. That night, I asked the Mother of God what was to become of me. She came to me holding 2 crowns, one white, the other red. She asked me if I was willing to choose either of these crowns. The white one meant that I should persevere in purity, and the red, that I should become a martyr. He said that he would choose them both. He dedicated his life to God and the Virgin Mary, travelling the world before setting up a monastery and a printing press, sending millions of newspapers weekly. In 1939, his home country of Poland was invaded by the Germans. He could have lived a quiet life, given up his publishing and keeping under the radar. He chose not to. When the Gestapo came for him, he could have escaped. He chose not to. Imprisoned, he was beaten and tortured for his faith. He could have renounced it. He chose not to. Sent to Auschwitz, he became prisoner number 16670. He didn't stop helping others, handing out his pitiful rations and drinks, praying for the dying and comforting those in need. One day, one of the prisoners from his block escaped. He and the other prisoners were lined up. An SS officer arrived and announced that 10 of them would be starved to death as a punishment. One by one, the 10 were selected from amongst their ranks. The priest was not one of them. One of the men chosen, Franciszek Gajowniczak, cried out for his wife and his children. Then the priest made his decision. He stepped forward, walked up to the officer, and asked that he give his life in return for that of the man's. The officer chose to accept. The 10 prisoners were led to their cell, stripped naked, with no food or water, to die a lonely, horrible death. He led the agonised prisoners in prayer and meditation. 2 weeks later, he was one of the last remaining. He was finally executed by injection, kneeling in prayer and offering his arm to his murderers. His name was Maximilian Kolbe. To honour the strength of his faith and his courage, please share this film. In 1981, Pope John Paul II made Kolbe the Saint of Auschwitz. With the Pope stood Gajowniczak, the man who Kolbe had saved, who somehow survived concentration camps for 5 years and 5 months, only to return to his home to discover that the children he had cried out for were dead. I'm not sure if I believe in good or evil, and I don't have the same deep faith that Maximilian Kolbe had. But what I think I see in him is the same battle to be the best version of ourselves that we all have today. The truth is, I haven't always made the right decisions in my life. But when I think about what Maximilian Kolbe's death could mean for me, it's an example of how we can live. Because there's never a moment in our lives where we can't stop and help somebody else, somebody we know, somebody we love, or somebody we've even never met before. That's the example I take from the life and death of this extraordinary man.
Okay, so this is sort of our main task for the rest of the session. I'd like you to write a story as if you were watching what was happening to Kolbe. Okay, so you were there and you were watching the main events take place. I would like you to think about your senses. So you've got touch, smell, taste, hear, and the other one, the fifth one, I can never remember. See, that's it. I've got some information below there on the screen for you to be working through. It says produce a speech, but you can do it as a story. I don't mind how you want to do it. This will take you 20-25 minutes to do. Let me just wrap this up and then you can put this back. So we said it'd be good if we could describe how faith can affect people in terms of heroism. Great if we can talk about why faith might encourage people to have a selfless act, and even better if you can talk about some evaluate reasons why someone might commit a selfless act or not, saying if these are wise reasons, and that's really what this task is for as well. So I'm going to leave it there. Thanks very much for your time. Take care of yourself, stay safe, wash your hands, God bless you, and I'll see you next time. Pause me, let's get that done. Have a good day.